I have been an iPad Pro user since the iPad Pro 2015, a device I believe was Apple's greatest invention. 5 years later, let's look at the reasons why you should not buy the new iPad Pro 2020. And I will be announcing the winners for the Nebo giveaway later in this video, so stay tuned for that. Hey guys, it's Robsy back with Paperless X, a channel that is all about digital productivity. If you're new to my channel, hello. Don't forget to subscribe if you're looking for a solution to go digital with your work, studies, or business. And if you're already subscribed, make sure you turn on your notifications so you know when I release a new video. Unlike how Apple sells the iPads, I actually use my iPads for productivity, not entertainment. I use it to study and take beautiful notes. I also use it to run my business, my website, and this channel. And that said, this review of the iPad is for someone who's wanting to use the device for productivity. Here is why it makes no sense buying an iPad Pro in 2020. Every iPad now supports the Apple Pencil. Back in 2015 up to 2017, only iPad Pros supported the active stylus. If you wanted to write on your iPad, you needed an iPad Pro to do so. That changed in 2018 when Apple released the first iPad to support the Apple Pencil. The iPad 2018, though criticized as an entry-level iPad, still could do everything my iPad Pro 2015 could. And I did a video on that, which I will link in the description down below. Of course, its screen was inferior, but that was only if you compared it side by side to the iPad Pro, which is something you would probably not do in reality. I got the iPad 2020 and it replaced my iPad Pro 2015 before I gave it to my mom. And that's how good that iPad was. My first reason why you should not buy the iPad Pro 2020 is because it's really not the ultimate device you need to be productive. I would assume that most people would buy the iPad Pro for its Apple Pencil. That stopped making sense in 2019 when Apple released 3 iPads with Apple Pencil support for half the price. So that said, you have a lot of options. The iPad Pro 2020 is definitely not the best value for your money because what these iPads can do, the Pro iPads, they also do. So the second reason, most end users, even for entertainment purposes, don't actually use that horsepower that is packed in iPad Pros. They are just an overkill for most daily use. Getting an iPad Pro is like getting a bulldozer because you want to build a house one day. Unless you are in the construction business, it's really pointless getting a bulldozer to build just one house. And that's an iPad Pro for most users. It's not necessary. You will not be using that much horsepower, so don't waste your money on it. Now for the winners of the Nebo giveaway. Thank you to everyone that participated. Nebo has been very generous to give us 20 codes instead of the 10 codes I announced a few weeks back. If you're a winner, please contact me on social media to get your promo code, Facebook or Instagram to be exact. The third reason you do not want to buy the iPad Pro in 2020. iPad OS is awesome because it is finally giving iPads more functionality, but this operating system is the same on all iPads. The iPad Pros, starting from the 2015 one, deserve an operating system of their own. Unless Apple does something dramatic in iPad OS to set apart the iPad Pros, they are simply not worth buying. So it doesn't matter what iPad you're using, whether you're using an iPad Pro or you're using an iPad, you still have the exact same functions for the most part. You'll work in applications the same way and you're really not missing out much. Probably 1 or 2 features that will definitely not disturb your workflow, and a lot of us that already have iPad Pros are not even using the iPads to their maximum capacity. The fourth reason you do not want to buy an iPad Pro in 2020 is no matter how much faster than PCs the iPad Pro is, it is still not a laptop. iPads will replace laptops for most users in 2020. I use my iPad for 95% of my work. However, I also don't need a keyboard, a mouse, or trackpad for my iPad Pro. For daily use, I use it without a mouse actually. I only use the mouse for demonstration purposes for the videos that I create for you guys. The reason why laptops have mice, what is that what you call them? Mice or mouses? This feels very weird. Is because their screens are not touch screens. I used a touchscreen laptop for a good 4 years. Trust me, when your PC has a touchscreen, a mouse is not very useful. If you're thinking getting a keyboard, trackpad, or mouse will turn your iPad into a laptop, it will not. iPads are meant to be portable, and I just feel like adding keyboards and mice or mouses, whatever you call them, sends us back to the laptops we are trying to ditch in the first place. Only this time, you get an inferior operating system with your laptop setup. That is really all there is. And in as much as Apple is trying to push iPads to replace laptops until they have a supporting operating system, that is not going to happen. At least not for people that actually have work that needs to run on laptop operating systems. The fifth and final reason is the price. This is an obvious one. Bear in mind that when you purchase your iPad or your iPad Pro, you will need money for accessories and applications too. You don't need to buy the most expensive iPad. Leave some money for your Apple Pencil, a decent cover, maybe paper-like if you don't like writing on glass, and some applications. You are better off spending money on applications because those will help you get the most out of your iPad. In the next video, I will be going through suggestions on the iPad you need to get for different kinds of people and different kinds of workflows. It's really important that we go through all the different iPad options and see which one works for which kind of user. And I'll be doing that in the next video. In conclusion, the iPad 2020 is great because it's an iPad Pro. All iPad Pros are great, starting from the first generation iPad Pro. They have all been fantastic devices. They're all awesome. But with so many iPads on the market that support the Apple Pencil, I'm afraid the only pro thing about an iPad Pro in 2020 is the big screen. Everything else packed into smaller, cheaper devices gives you better value for your money. That is the reality most of us are not willing to face simply because Apple has a fancy display of the newest iPad Pro. Don't fall for that. Buy with your mind, not your heart. You'll thank me later. Unless you need the big screen, which I will get into details about in the next video, it's really not necessary for you to buy the iPad Pro. I hope you guys liked this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know what you guys think about the new iPad Pro. Are you getting it? Do tell. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next video.